you signed a deal with Epic right away, and then boom, this first record hits, and it's like you're like on MTV,
Yeah.
and what was that like? How did it feel? And sort of like, was there a pressure to follow that record up? Like what kind of headspace did that put you guys in?
Yo, it was crazy, man. It was wild because, like I said, we all started as street musicians. So when we signed, I'll never forget, like, got the call from a manager, "Yo, you're signing to Epic Records." We went down and played for all the labels and shit in New York.
What did they think of your guys' sound?
Like it was, we were gonna get signed. Like, this guy Rick Chertoff wanted to sign us, who had just signed Joan Osborne. So she was like coming to the shows, and he wanted to take like a much more like, we're gonna keep honing in on your sound, and I was like, "Oh, fuck that, dude. I'm ready to make a record now." Like, we had this killer group of songs, and we were firing. I was like, "What are you talking about?
So did you have to
Slow
fight
down."
for that? Did you have to kind of?
No, no, because we signed with this guy, Michael Kaplan, who was the
Oh, okay.
typical, like, Jewish, cigar smoking, record executive gangster who was like, "Let's go," and he signed to Allman Brothers and Living Color. And
Oh, damn.
so he was like, it was just on. And he had just signed Kebmo, and he was launching this OK Records, which OK was, the Robert Johnson was on OK. It was, a record label from the 30s that they were gonna revamp. So there was like a blues though. Anders Osborne, Papa Chubby, Kebmo, Little Axe, which was another kind of like hip hop kind of blues thing, and us launched the label, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, it was shit got wild in the sense that it hit the road, and then with the Sony machine and the record was connecting, and it was on the buzzing, and so the shows were crazy. We just hit the road in the van, and all the shows would be like sold out, these little clubs all across the country and all across the world. And but at the same time, it was not glamorous. Like, we were sharing hotel rooms and riding around in a van and doing 250 shows a year. So there was no, it was just exhausting. Just
Yeah.
and it was like you didn't know you hit the big time because you're just like grinding. And then there was a lot of just constant pressure, and then you asked about like making a follow-up. We were
Yeah.
already like, if I could go back, I would have said, all right, let's keep working this first record, because we were like, they didn't never know what to do with us, right? So because we could play shows with everybody, right? We could play shows with the Allman Brothers
Sure.
and Buddy Guy, and we could play shows with Run DMC and Gangstar, and we did.
Right.
And because I was such a hip hop kid, we started playing the shows with the hip hop people, but the hip hop crowd in the early '90s was really like, well, they did not want to see us, put it like that. And that was like hard. And also because hip hop was like all on DATs, not really live instrumentation. We were like a garage band.
Mm.
So we didn't fit into that at all.
Did you guys go out and actually like play some shows in that world where you felt like
Yeah.
you weren't that well received?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that
Like,
like?
that was wild. Like, opening up for Guru's Jazzmatazz in Boston, being on tour with Tribe Called Quest, doing shows at Run DMC and KRS-One, Cypress Hill,
Damn.
a lot of people,
All the names.
and it was wild because the artists were always really cool, but the fan
Sure.
base, it was not what it was just not going over. Just honest, it was some tough shows, but I never forget. Like, Q-Tip came out at a show, at a college show, and he was like, "Y'all give it up for G Love and Special." So they came out and did their thing, man. And Q-Tip, I met Q-Tip, and he was like, "Yo, I'm a fan." I was like, "Oh my god, really?" I was too shy to like talk to Five Dog. I was like, "Oh my god."
Those guys are the
But yeah, like,
baddest.
these were my idols. So, but it was wild. But yeah, yeah, we got kind of like the hip hop thing was. It was kind of like that's why the second record we decided to go. I want to play blues. I don't want to do hip hop because I'm not in that world. So let me just play blues, and that's what we did.
So there were kind of other scenes though, other show environments where you felt like the music was really connecting. And that's kind of what led you in that direction stylistically, like on the second record and following that?
Yeah, well, I we just had such a thick vibe going on at our headlining shows, which again, were, I don't know, little clubs, 200 to 500
But they
people.
were going off.
Yeah, and I was like, "I'm not opening for anybody," and, like, I made a lot of I can name all the mistakes I made in my career, but one of them was that the Black Crowes offered us the summer tour. They offered us the summer tour, and we were like I was like, "No, go
Why? Why?
figure." Because we're like, "I'm not opening up for anybody." That was my thing, was like, I wanna do my own shit, I don't wanna open up for anybody.
Do you wish you had done the Black Crowes
Yeah.
opening spot? Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's just a opportunity, 'cause we did open up for the Violent Femmes
Yeah.
in '94, and that was crazy. Um, but yeah, I didn't wanna open up, and I didn't, and that only kinda lasts for so long, then you actually, like, see how this whole thing works, and so that's why I can look back and say, "Wow, I really fucked that up." Because in 1995, 4 or 5, the Black Rose were like, if you can imagine how big they are now, I mean, they're way bigger then, right? I mean, they were huge, and
They were huge.
it was a massive opportunity at that time for us to get in front of, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know anything, man. I was a kid. I made a lot of mistakes, but we're still here, so you know what I'm saying?